What's up, everyone? Welcome to the NBA Daily Podcast, your home for useless news about the NBA. My name's Dawson Shine, and I'm your host. So, we have a lot of good news from the last 2 days. Some amazing games. First of all, we have to talk about Sunday night's Mother's Day matchup against the Oklahoma City Thunder San Antonio Spurs. OKC crushed the Spurs in the fourth quarter to win this game 111-97 after a comeback victory, being down more than 10 points in the second quarter, and then down quite a few points at halftime, 8. They were down 53 to only 45. But they came back, outscoring the Spurs 34-16 in the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant went off. 41 points, explosion, could not be stopped. Fast breaks over Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, shooting fadeaway jumpers that were just pure. Amazing game. It was actually the first game his mother was sitting in the front row for the playoff game. So you constantly saw screenshots of her cheering for her son, of course, because she's the real MVP, according to Kevin Durant. And he was incredible in front of his mother. Obviously, it was Mother's Day, and he put on a great show. Also, Russell Westbrook. An incredibly smart game from him. Now, I don't say that too often about Russell Westbrook, because he's known to make some pretty boneheaded plays. But last night, he made very smart decisions, despite shooting 5 for 18 from the field. He had 14 points, not great on 18 shots, but more importantly, he had 15 assists, 3 turnovers. That's amazing. A 5-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio on 15 assists is incredible, and it's all because he was so smart in the way he passed the ball. He would look for the open man rather than just force shots up. Even if he had a decent shot, he tried to pass it down low to Steven Adams on a couple of pick and rolls, or pick and pops too for Ibaka. Just played smart. He should have had even more assists if everyone made their shots, of course. And it was just a great game from him to watch, because he said before this one that he was going to go out there and try and pass it more rather than take all the shots. And he proved it. He actually did that, and it was great. Obviously, if he's on like that, passing the ball very well, and Kevin Durant is shooting for 41 points on 14 of 25 shooting, it's pretty tough to stop the Thunder. Also, on top of that, Dion Waiters went off in the third quarter to keep the Thunder in this game and try and climb back. 7 for 11. He had 17 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, on only 11 shots. Made all of his threes, no turnovers. Great game. And you got to give him a shout out because he gets a lot of flack for not playing amazingly on offense sometimes and making some really stupid plays, like taking fadeaway long twos rather than a 3. But in this game, he proved to be a very, very valuable player, because without him, their bench scoring would have been lacking quite a bit, considering Cameron Payne and Nick Collison aren't really the biggest scorers around. But besides that, it was really Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. They helped run the offense, they helped carry them back in this game, and Kevin Durant's defense against Kawhi Leonard was incredible in the fourth quarter. At one point, Kawhi was breaking 3 after 3, including 2 on one possession. He bricked a straightaway 3. Duncan got the rebound, passed it right back out, bricked it again, wide open the next time. He choked away the game. He shot him right out of it, which is pretty poor for him considering he's normally a very, very efficient scorer. Last night, 7 of 19 on 37% shooting, 21 points, but 4 turnovers. Not a great game. LaMarcus Aldridge helped carry them, though. 20 points. Unfortunately, it was on 8 of 18 shooting. But the real key player in this game, Tony Parker. For the Spurs, at least. 22 points, 3 assists, unfortunately had 4 turnovers. Great shooting, 10 of 16. But he looked like the old Tony Parker. This entire series, he's really resurged. It's like back to 2012. Not 2007, back when he won Finals MVP, but 2012. He's playing very, very well, and it shows, because he's helping to keep the team in the games, even when Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge aren't necessarily playing well, though that hasn't happened too often in this series. And without him, last night, they would have looked like absolute trash. They had pretty poor shooting from their starters. I mean, Duncan didn't even take a shot, which goes to show you how little he's playing. 12 minutes in this game. That's pretty crazy to think about, considering not even 2-3 months ago, before he hit 40, he was actually one of the best rim protectors and defensive centers in the league still at 39. But it seems like once he hit 40, as I've said before, he seems to drop off a cliff. 0 for 0 shooting. He didn't take a shot. 3 rebounds, 12 minutes. You can't expect that from Tim Duncan. That's crazy. But I guess Father Time does always win. So now it's going back to San Antonio for Game 5 tonight. And it's going to be intense. Because if Oklahoma City can steal this game and take a 3-2 series lead, it might be over in Game 6. Especially if Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant continue to play the way they're playing on the same page. If Westbrook continues to distribute the ball properly and run the offense the way it should be run, they're unstoppable. So we'll see tonight if Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge can bounce back, Tony Parker can keep up his resurgence, and if Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook especially can continue to play smart basketball, because that's really what's key for them to win this series. Moving on to the next game, which was last night, an incredible matchup between the Portland Trail Blazers and Golden State Warriors. Now, let me tell you, this game was insane. Golden State Warriors won in overtime, 132 to 125. Now, Stephen Curry came off the bench in this game because Sean Livingston was originally going to start the game because Steph Curry needed minutes restrictions after just coming back from his MCL sprain. But Sean Livingston got ejected 12 minutes into playing in the game because he swore at a referee for missing a shot to his head on a foul that wasn't even called. So once he got ejected, Steve Kerr was forced to play Stephen Curry more in this game, way more than his minutes restrictions was allowed. He went and played 36 minutes last night in his first game back from the MCL sprain, and he dropped 40 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. I can't even describe what the hell I was watching. He started the game 0 for 9 from 3. It looked like he was trying to break through the rust and get that all off, but holy crap, in overtime and in the fourth quarter, incredible. He started 0 for 9, he ended 5 for 16. He went 5 for 7 after that. And even more incredible, in overtime, this man dropped 17 points. This is now the back-to-back MVP winner because he won the MVP again this year, it was announced this week, which means that he's now the third point guard to win 2 MVPs or more, Magic Johnson and Steve Nash being the others. And he went out there and he proved why he's the MVP. I'm sorry, but 17 points in overtime is just ridiculous. I can't even comprehend that, and I watched it. It doesn't make sense. He broke the record for the regular season, for the playoffs, for the finals. I don't care what season. It could be Bear season, didn't matter. Dropped 17 in a 5-minute period. That's ridiculous. They couldn't stop him, despite the fact that Damian Lillard put up a great show and effort. 36 points, 9 of 30 shooting, which isn't great, 5 of 18 from 3, but he had 13 free throws and also 10 assists. He had a great game as well, and it was overshadowed by Stephen Curry's 40-point game off the bench, almost a triple-double. The best game from someone off the bench in the playoffs, in the regular season, probably ever. Incredible. And he wasn't even the only great player on the roster. Klay Thompson dropped 23 points and great defense on Damian Lillard, who had shot 9 for 30, and a few players on CJ McCollum, who didn't score on him. So he was playing great. 23 points is a great contribution from him as well. And, more importantly, Draymond Green, who has really started to prove that he is valuable even without Stephen Curry. He almost had a 5-by-5 in the playoffs. Now, if you don't know what a 5-by-5 is, it means you have at least 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks. So 5 categories and 5 in each of them. He had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 blocks, and 4 steals. He was a steal away. What the hell? This team is just... No one even saw this team being a contender 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden, once these pieces were put together, it's just magic. They just go out there and dominate teams. Man, I don't even know what to do. They won 2 games out of 3 without the reigning back-to-back MVP. Then he comes back in after Sean Livingston gets ejected and drops 40 on him from the bench. 40! How do you stop that? I mean, I don't know. I just feel bad because the Blazers don't stand a chance. Now they're down 3-1. The series is probably over. And there's just no way they could have competed. They're just not good enough. Hats off to them for playing really well and trying really hard. Alfaro Gamino, Mason Plumlee, CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, Gerald Henderson, this whole team tried hard, and they just came out short because they can't stop the Warriors. And now that Steph Curry's back, there's no stopping him. He is just too good. So we're going to have to look forward to Game 5, but I'm sorry, but it's probably going to be closed out in Game 5 in Oracle Arena. The Warriors have lost a total of one game in Oracle Arena all season. That was against the Celtics, and it's probably not going to happen this time. Steph Curry is going to come out fired up. He's starting the next game. Good luck to the Trailblazers. Speaking of overtime, by the way, we had a battle of what might have been basketball, but I doubt it, against the Miami Heat and the Toronto Raptors. Heat winning 94-87 in their third overtime game out of 4 games in the series to tie it 2-2. Now let me tell you, this game was not as good of basketball as you'd expect from an overtime game. It was actually just complete trash. All around just awful basketball. The Raptors were down by 9 at the half, 35, excuse me. But they came back, especially in the third quarter, and ended up tying the game in the fourth quarter with a chance to win it when they blew it again on a Corey Joseph isolation twice. Now, obviously, Kyle Lowry played really well in the last game. He had 33 points, and then came out in this game and dropped a nice 2 for 11 shooting, 0 for 6 from 3, 10 points. He did have 9 assists and 7 rebounds, 4 steals. Those are great contributions, but he fouled out, so he wasn't useful to them in the overtime period, and especially for the last shot. Also, I don't even know what to say. Demar DeFrozen is absolute trash. He was looking to get a max contract this offseason. He'll be lucky if he gets a contract. I'm obviously joking a little bit, but 4 for 17 in a playoff game, poor shots, 9 points. The Trash Brothers had a combined 6 for 28 shooting. There are so many memes online now about them because of how bad they've played, and I just can't describe it anymore. I'm sick of talking about how shit they are. They are constantly playing awful. And it's ridiculous. DeMar DeRozan doesn't know how to take a good basketball shot. It's either high pick and roll, dribble in a little bit, take a fadeaway contested 2. Or high pick and roll, drive into the paint, miss the layup, ask to get fouled. That's it. The only plays he knows in the entire game. And then he gets fouled, and now he's missing free throws. He is 87% shooter on the season. How are you missing 3 out of your 4 free throws to shoot 25% in a playoff game? Unacceptable. Deserve to lose. And on the other side, the Heat didn't deserve to win either. The only player on the Heat playing well is Dwayne Wade. 13 for 24, 30 points. He helped carry them in overtime, including the game-clinching steal and layup. Great game by him. But man, everyone else played like crap. Joe Johnson, 5 for 13, 15 points. Goran Dragic, 5 for 16. They shot 45% of the team. That's not really that great. But they shot 6.7% from 3. You want to know who made the 1-3? Goran Dragic. They were 1 for 15. I'm sorry, but I can make more than 1 for 15 on threes. It's not like they were all contested either. They were actually pretty open, considering the Toronto's defense collapsing into the paint on Dwayne Wade and failing to close out properly because they consistently fail to close out properly. So the Heat struggled in this one, barely winning, thanks to the heroic efforts from Dwayne Wade. He's the only bright spot in this entire series of trash. But he's a bright spot, and they now tied at 2-2 going back to Toronto. Obviously, this series might be one of the closest besides the Oklahoma City series versus the San Antonio Spurs, but it's not close because it's good basketball. It's close because both teams can't make a shot. Hopefully that changes in Toronto, and maybe Kyle Lowry or DeMar DeRozan or someone just heats them up a little bit. I know it's cold in Toronto, but come on, DeMar DeFrozen is he needs to thaw a lot. So I'm predicting Toronto is going to come out and actually win this game, but it's going to probably be another really close game, and probably because DeMar DeRozan shoots, 3 for 20 or 5 for 18, something pretty bad like that, while Kyle Lowry contributes well in the offense but doesn't do anything else. At least Dwayne Wade's still there to try and cheer us up with some good basketball. Alright, so that's all today, folks. Glad you got to hear my great rant about the Toronto Raptors absolutely sucking. But besides that, we have a great game tonight looking forward to. San Antonio Spurs, Oklahoma City Thunder. Leave your predictions in the comments or your thoughts about the game tonight once it happens. Thanks for listening. Hope you all have a great day.